Greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another little house model. Now this one, I'm giving you a 2-for-1 deal. This is my Nebraska stone house or brick, and I'm doing it two ways. So I'm actually coloring and cutting out and putting together two Nebraska houses so you can kind of see how they look, if they're colored different or if you add things on that are different. I'm starting with the Tombow pens, of course. My patterns are all available in little books that I have published through Lulu Press. You just print them and then color them and cut them out, put them together. They make the cutest little Christmas village, I think. This one I'm making to look very much like a brick house. So I'm putting brown brick-like marks. And coloring around my windows and my door frames. Now this is the little house extension, and on this one I'm only going to put one house extension, but on the next one that I'm coloring I'm going to do two, so you can see how they look. Makes the house look completely different. And then don't forget to color the roof. You can make it look like slats or those green roofs. Or around here in California, we have the adobe what are they called? Curled, the little ceramic roof. Now you can see in this one, I don't want the house to be a harsh color, so I'm leaving it white, but also I'm going to put on my bricks. I want the brick marks to be there. I want it to look like it's a stone house. So I'm using gray, a very pale gray. Also colored blue on the windows because that windows tend to reflect the sky. It looks realistic. And also you can't always see through windows. Not from far away anyway. So coloring drapes in each window is not necessarily going to work for you. Adding a little extra shadow and tone to my bricks or my stone. And now you want to score all of the fold lines. That's where you make a dent. You just go over it with some blunt, empty pen, or the edge of a pencil or a pair of scissors. You just want to be careful not to cut through the lines. You just want to dent the lines so that they fold perfectly. And do it before you cut them out. It's easier. You can see in the place where the extension of the house goes, I didn't bother to color it. It's not going to show. It'll be underneath the part you're gluing on. So now it's time to cut out along the dark lines. The chimneys and the balconies that I'm going to use later, and even a couple of awnings, those are optional. You don't have to have them. You can put them on if you want them. It's everybody's taste is different. And it adds something different. If you add those little accessories, it changes the whole house. So doing two of the same house, I've got a lot to cut out here. Another option would be to cut out the windows completely and put tissue paper behind them, and then you could fill your little paper houses with twinkle lights. That would add to the Christmas village if you wanted to do that. That's kind of fun. And now it's time to fold them along the score lines. See how perfectly they fold now that there's a dent on the line where they're supposed to fold. And because you're copying this onto a heavyweight paper, it's I'm using a 65-pound cover stock. Sometimes I will use a 80-pound cover stock. That's really a heavy paper and it has to be scored. So the main house, I go ahead and I glue the roof on first. Once I've glued the house together and I put the roof on. The extension then I glue onto, you see, the house and put the roof on once this extension has stuck to the house perfectly. And you've got to hold it for a while. So there, I've got my roof on. I could hold it a little bit longer. And in this case, I'm putting on a second extension on the other side of the house. It doesn't show this in the pattern, but I thought it would be fun to do two. And it did change the entire parameter of the house. It changes the whole look. And there's the second roof. You've got to hold it or it won't bond. That paper is good and thick. And now I'm putting together the little chimney. On this one, I'm going to put two chimneys because I can, because I want to. But you don't have to. You don't have to put any of them, or you could just put one if you wish. And there's the house number one. And you can see I'm cutting a little step. It's nothing more than a piece of paper underneath the door, but it adds, I think, to the whole overall look of a front step. And now it's time for the second house, the one I colored a more brick color. So I'm gluing the floor on first. Then I will put on the roof. I have to cut a little section off the roof so that that house extension will fit against the house, and then put the roof on that extension. Now you see this one is the way it calls for in the pattern, just one extension on the house. And a front step. Also, I took some little beads and put beads on the doors, as you can see. They look like little wooden beads, so I thought they fit. And I put a balcony, which isn't necessary, and an awning over one of the doors. I thought it would add to the whole look. The front step really helps, I think. And then the brick building, also I added an awning. And a bead for the front door and the back door. But I didn't put a chimney on this one. Just awnings over the two doors. Now this is the original that I created way back a decade ago. You can see it doesn't have a step, it doesn't have beads on the doors. It's much more simplistic, but I did use the two chimneys that came with the pattern. So it has changed over the years. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I do hope you try out some of my little houses. They're fun. And come again and see what I do next time. Bye, everyone. Have a good week.